It's your boy Sleepy Melbourne in the building, and this is another episode review for Solo Leveling, episode 2. And this episode starts off right where the last one left. Everybody is still in a panic, worried, running about, trying to figure out, well, not really running about. Everybody is on their knees, ducking, as Jin told them to. But still no real idea of what to do. So everybody's kind of freaking out. The leader lost an arm, but he's making the best of it. He asked Jin to bandage him up since all of the healers are either dead or out of commission. There are 3 healers on this party. One is dead. One is Jiho, which is the girl. She's the highest ranked healer. She's a B rank healer, but she is also extremely afraid of any tough situations, so she just kind of shuts down and is relatively useless. And then there's another healer who is having a mini meltdown as well, so everybody is relatively useless right now. Probably would have been smarter to bring more than 3 healers, but they thought it was going to be an easy D rank dungeon, move through it, get it over with. But that was not the case. We get to see some of Jin's intellect on full display as he deciphers the meanings of these commandments. And I think that's probably the most impactful thing that I took away from this episode. There's not a lot that happens in terms of new scenery or changing of situation. But we really get to see Jin, who has had to constantly be in life or death situations, considering his skill level, and all of the missions that he's gone on up until this point have been at least a level above his E rank skill. He's very familiar with, if I make a mistake, I don't come home. So he's immediately using all of his ingenuity trying to figure out what these commandments mean, which he tests the first commandment by standing and turning towards the statue, which makes the statue of the god's eyes start to glow, which is an indicator that, oh, you're about to get obliterated. He immediately bows to the god, which makes the eyes immediately activate. He tells everybody else inside of the room that they need to turn towards the god and bow towards the god, showing respect and praise, which they do. This activates the second phase of the trial, which I don't think, if Jin had more time, would be as hard as the first phase, where it was just figure it out, there's no real clues, where now you kind of have dudes stomping around. But once you figure out the first one, you kind of have a little bit of understanding of the context in which these commandments are being issued. Commandments are for this room, and this room operates on these rules. So the second commandment is to praise the god. This requires them to run towards all the statues that have instruments in their hands, which then activates them to start playing music. Sounds easier than it ended up being. A lot of people got squashed under the god's statue as it just got up and started walking around, stepping on people. Said, I told you what to do, and if you're not gonna do it, I'ma crush you. This is not a very forgiving god. This god is on some shit for real. I wonder if there's other gods inside of the Solo Leveling universe. I'm an anime only. I haven't read any of the manhwa. Well, that's not true. I read the manhwa up until wherever the episodes end, just so I can kind of grab images and things like that for the show. I don't read anything past where the episode ends, so I have no idea what is happening next, what's to come. Obviously, we all know that our main character isn't dead with the way that the episode ended, but let's get back to the third commandment. After all of the people get to the statue, including Jin, without a leg. But got his life, just missing a little leg. And I'm sure that he would trade his leg for his life 10 out of 10 times. Third trial starts and an altar activates. It just springs up out the middle of the floor. And inside of this altar, Jin figures out that, hey, we all need to come inside of here, inside this circle. When they do, these orange flames burst into existence, followed by another ring of blue flames. Now the blue flames start to pop out of existence as the time progresses. Jin figures out, after the first woman who is helping support him kind of falls apart and just loses her composure completely, and instead of keeping eye contact on the giants statues like Jin told them to, she freaks out and just runs out of the door, which Jin is already assessed to be a trap, which I have to get to at the end of the episode, because I'm a little confused. Because if you think this is a trap, then whoever has to go out there and whoever leaves, I guess at that point you just figured it was a possibility, maybe, but we'll get to that. Anyway, Jin figures that the real test is to have faith in the God, which is the third commandment. And so inside of this terrifying situation, you just need to allow the timer to go off and the golems won't harm you. Yeah, but no, because everybody just leaves. The other raider that is helping him stand decides that he can no longer take it as well. He tosses Jin to the ground, which is like wild. Like, why did you have to throw him? You could have set him down and be like, I'm not doing this, and just set him down. But he threw him to the ground and just booked it out the door. Again, bad decision. But then there were 4. And now this is where my least favorite character comes in. Mr. Kim, come to the front. I hate you. I hate you so much. You did all of that, like, meandering conversation just to be like, but I have a family and I owe my life to you, but I'm out of here. And you run, and instead of believing in what he's telling you, which has gotten you to this point, you decide that, nah, the weakest member can't be right the whole way through. But he's the one that's gotten you to this point. But for some reason, no, that just can't be the most correct answer, is to follow what he's saying. And you 4 keep your eyes on these statues and make it to the end and survive. Nope. You book it, which means that now they don't have enough eyes to watch all the statues. So Jin decides at that moment that it is over. And the captain decides, hey, I'm going to sacrifice myself. Jihu, you and Jin, y'all go. This would have been cool. Except for the fact that Jihu's legs collapsed because she was trying to repair Jin's leg, which she couldn't do, to the point that blood was coming out of her eyes and ears and nose. So she is in no condition to assist anybody getting out of the room. So Jin takes it upon himself to tell the captain to take Jihu and leave the room. And this is the thing that I don't understand. If you recognize that the door being open is a trap and it's only to give you a false sense of security in this place full of fear, and what you need to do is stay here and believe in the God, why would you tell them to leave? The correct answer is to stay, no matter what. But I guess you at this point said all bets are off, no one is following the rules, and so we just got to try and have as many people survive. But if you thought that it was a trap and you don't believe that the other people made it out, then why would it suddenly not be a trap now? That's the only thing I don't understand. But that's fine, because the captain and Jihu make it out of the room, and this commences the torture of Jin. And I can't really say the torture, but he gets smacked around by everybody. And it's not really that bad in the manhwa. When I went back and looked, just like I said, I go back and go through and grab some images and stuff like that. He only really got smacked like one time and tossed into the air. Inside of the anime, he got stabbed up a whole bunch of times, but I guess they needed to fill up some of the space for the blue flames to go out and to like give you a sense of like time passing, which is cool. I have no issue with that. I think that the manhwa and the anime are equally as gruesome, so there's no qualms about that one way or the other. I'm enjoying myself. Just something I noticed. But anyway, after being beaten up and thrown onto the altar, Jin, our leader, and by leader I mean main character, and realistically, he was kind of the leader of the second half of this raid, where it's like, all right, you guys don't know what to do and you're panicking, let me figure it out. And so, you know what, Jin, our leader, because he did lead the raid. That's right, our boy stepped up to being a leader when the leader didn't know what to do. So anyway, Jin is out here getting a screen pop up saying, hey, you got 0.02 seconds before your heart stops and you can make this decision. Would you like to continue because you completed all of the requirements for this quest, Courage of the Weakest? Or you could say no. And our boy says yes. And that is where the episode ends. And with that, I don't know exactly what's going to happen next, because like I said, I'm an anime only, but I'm really excited for next Saturday. I love Solo Leveling so far. First episode was heat. It had me intrigued, but this episode right now, it's taking it all the way home. I need to see where this goes. Are we going to get more missions? Is that organization that we first saw that had the other hunters that were higher ranked, are they going to become more impactful? Are we going to learn more about gods? Are there even other gods? Or is this just like a one-off because it's multiple, just different dimensions connecting and things like that? So maybe this was just this one dimension and now you're going to go to something else. We don't know. I don't know. You guys might know. You might have read ahead. Don't spoil me in the comments, please. But let's have good conversation. Again, like, subscribe, share, and do all the things. It's your boy Sleepy Melbourne, and I'm out.